No wonder the Clippers ship sank. They have a million leaks. ESPN reported this morning that Kawhi Leonard is being described as selfish and indifferent. The Athletic reported exactly which teammates resented how the franchise pampered Kawhi. We'll get to those names in a bit, but this is what Ty Lue is walking into. A team with locker room issues and a ton of pressure. If they don't win, the Clippers will be in a basketball black hole for a decade. In this video, I'll explain why Ty Lue will get credit for what Doc Rivers did and why I do believe in the Clips next season despite all this drama. Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells, but I am really excited to tell you about Blinkist, who is sponsoring today's video. So if you're like me, you'll want to read a book or two or three, but you don't have time. What Blinkist does is they summarize some of the best books out there into about 15-minute audio clips so you can listen to the highlights of these books like a podcast. So here's the Blinkist app on my phone. It's perfect for anyone into like self-improvement or self-development or even like parenting, marriage, money management. They have over 3,000 non-fiction books on Blinkist. Right now I'm listening to the highlights of The E-Myth Revisited, which is like an entrepreneur book. It's a classic. I didn't know that owning a YouTube channel, I would actually become an entrepreneur. I knew a lot about the NBA and about broadcasting and making content, but almost nothing about running a business. That's what I signed up for. Blinkist is perfect for that. And no, Blinkist is not free, but it is for the first 100 people to go to Blinkist.com/AMHoops. You're gonna get unlimited access for 1 week to try it out. And if you play your cards right, that could be like 10 books in 1 week. Also, if you're one of those first 100 people, you get 25% off of your membership if you do want to sign up at the end of your free week. So go to Blinkist.com/AMHoops to sign up. On to the video, and yes, safe hire. I do like how Ty is respected by players, how he called out LeBron James at halftime of Game 7 in 2016. I also like that he hired Chauncey Billups on his staff. But if Ty Lue wins, it's because of the players. He won a title with LeBron James. LeBron left. He started the season 0-6 and got fired. What happened to the genius play caller? I think the Clippers are set up to win in year 2, and Ty Lue is about to get credit for Doc Rivers' work. And last season was really rough at times. There was a lot of drama around Kawhi Leonard specifically that wasn't talked about enough. An article in The Athletic just outlined how Kawhi pissed off teammates. Quote, players like Beverly, Montrezl Harrell, and Lou Williams, Clippers bedrocks before the arrival of Leonard and George, bristled when Leonard was permitted to take games off to manage his body and live in San Diego, which often led to him being late for team flights, league sources said. The team also allowed Leonard to dictate to Doc Rivers when he would be pulled from games, among other things. And believe me, the organization reads all that loud and clear, and there will be changes in year 2. And I think Kawhi Leonard should read that and want to change his own behavior. And so Ty Lue steps in and gets the benefit of all these issues from year 1 getting worked out in year 2. And it's not necessarily that Ty Lue is the reason why it all changed. Maybe it could have been Doc Rivers, but I believe Ty will get the credit. Some will say that Doc Rivers was to blame for some of the issues in year 1. He is a player's coach after all. He obviously was cool with Kawhi treating the team like he owned it. But at the same time, Kawhi chose them and they probably promised Kawhi the world. They were months removed from rolling out the red carpet for him. But I will admit this, Doc's biggest problem was that he trusted the players would figure it out on their own. He treats them like adults, which is great, but when it's not working, you gotta step in. He didn't do that, and it hurt their chemistry on and off the court even more. But you better believe there will be changes after they got embarrassed in the bubble. Ty Lue will benefit from all that. Doc Rivers will just sit back and watch them win. And when I say win, I think the Clippers will be an NBA Finals team next season for 4 reasons. Number 1, they will have another year of chemistry. Number 2, motivation to gain respect back. Number 3, the pressure of one last season. And number 4, personnel changes. So first, let's talk about that chemistry. I said when Doc Rivers got fired, losing in the second round didn't prove that Doc was a bad coach. He's the same guy as before the bubble. Losing proved you can't just throw a bunch of talented players together and expect instant chemistry. Their best starting five barely played together because of load management and because of injuries. They had multiple players get COVID right before the bubble, several personal tragedies outside the bubble, and apparently those chicken wings were old. Paul George pointed to chemistry immediately after they lost to the Nuggets. Kawhi called it basketball IQ. Either way, another year will do wonders. Number 2 was motivation to put respect back on their name. Think about how much shade has been thrown on guys like Paul George. People act like he's Paul Watson, who's a guy I didn't even know about on the Raptors. Apparently he likes anime, which is cool. The entire team watched the Lakers win the title. If watching purple and gold confetti fall again when you are still the pathetic little brother in LA doesn't motivate them, a new coach won't do a thing. Number 3 was the pressure of the last season. It's been talked about a lot. After next year, Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can be free agents, but I don't hear this enough. The team doesn't own a first-round pick outright until 2027. This is actually Ty Lue's best argument for being a good hire. He can coach under pressure, I'll give him that. He's one of 3 coaches ever to take over mid-season and win a championship. Pat Riley and Paul Westhead are the others. If he didn't win that year in Cleveland, he would not have gotten the head coaching job. He not only won, but he led the 3-1 comeback. That is pressure. Next season for the Clippers is right up there. If they lose, this becomes a lost 10 years for LA. They will be the Brooklyn Nets after the Kevin Garnett-Paul Pierce deal. An awful team with no way to get better. And the last reason is personnel changes. Here's what the front office has to do. Re-sign Montrezl Harrell if they can afford him. Re-sign Marcus Morris. But most importantly, get a true point guard. Last year, Kawhi was miscast as LeBron James. He's not a facilitator. They have no cap space, but they do have the mid-level taxpayer exception worth almost $6 million. So let's take a look at a pretty bad free agent point guard market. Fred VanVleet, Goran Dragic, Jeff Teague, DJ Augustine, Chris Dunn, Rajon Rondo, Isaiah Thomas, Reggie Jackson, Michael Carter-Williams, and maybe Austin Rivers are the top guys that I've pinpointed. Now, Fred VanVleet and Goran Dragic cost way too much. Rajon Rondo might have been a good fit, but now, having just won another title, the Knicks want him, and they have a ton of cap space to steal him. The talent of Dunn, Thomas, Jackson, Rivers, and Carter-Williams, not good enough. So I think Augustine and Teague should be their targets. If I could pick one, it would be Jeff Teague. He's a more athletic playmaker with slightly better defense. Yeah, Augustine is a better scorer, but the Clippers don't need more scoring. They need someone to run that offense. So I am super high on the Clippers, but not because of Ty Lue, because of the players and the talent that they have on that roster. I think Ty was a safe hire who's going to benefit from a necessary 1-year growth season for the Clippers. I think Doc Rivers was the scapegoat. He could easily be the coach now, but Ty Lue is, and he will reap the benefits. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.